So today we're just getting to know your face painter.
Nothing but good vibes. Let's get this started right. Life's a groove, moving smooth, taking flight.
I am Brooke with Pure Energy Entertainment, and this is...
I'm Linda Voils with Party Art by Linda V.
Yeah! And it's party art because you don't just do face painting. You also do...
I also have balloon animals, glitter tattoos, and hair tinsel is actually really popular.
Cool!
Yeah, I kind of started out doing balloon animals at a restaurant nearby.
Oh, cool!
And it just spiraled from there. I don't know.
How did you add on the face painting?
I've always loved art. I actually got an art scholarship in high school that paid for some of my college tuition.
Cool.
It's something I've always done on the side, like paintings and drawings and stuff. When you're a kid, my parents really hammered in that, you know, to be successful and have a real job, you know, art wasn't ever really an option, I guess, or not a legitimate option.
Right.
It would just be like a pastime or a hobby. But
I feel like we all hear that all the time. Like, what's your real job? Like, what do you actually do in real life? And I'm like, I'm really in real life here painting your kid's face. Like, this is not
exactly. And so I had a real job for 10 years. I'm a dental hygienist, but it's very hard on your body to kind of like look down in a tiny dark hole for 8 hours a day. So I was kind of looking for something that I could maybe do on the side to cut my days down with dental hygiene, and that's when I picked up doing balloon animals at this restaurant on Fridays. And then people would just ask me, oh, do you do parties? Do you do anything else like face painting? And I didn't at the time, but I decided to look into it.
Why not?
Yeah.
We talked about that because I went to college and I have a bachelor's in math, and my plan was to teach math, but then I have never said this, but I have never been able to pass the certification. Like, I failed by 1 point, 3 points, and 2 points, and I was like, okay, this is a sign. This is not meant for me.
Yeah.
And then I ended up working for attorneys for 8 years on my real job, right?
Real job, yeah.
And I did like accounting and bookkeeping, and then I was doing face painting part-time for 10 years or 5 years, and then went into it full-time, like, because I realized, okay, there's really an avenue for me to make a full-time living, and there's no reason for me not to do it, right?
Yeah.
But I've been face painting for 12 years. My daughter's here. You've been having your art business for 2 years.
Yes.
Right? So you're fairly new.
2.5 now, so it'll be 3 years in October.
Was it hard making that adjustment from like having a 9-to-5 job to your own business?
Luckily, I was able to do it kind of slowly. So going from
the part-time
5 days to 4 to 3 with my real job. And actually, this last month was my last month as a dental hygienist.
Yeah.
So I'm doing face painting full time now.
Yay! Say yay, 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 go, go. Okay.
Some days I still don't feel like I know what I'm doing, but just take every day as it comes.
I just want to say we're genuinely like making fun of the fact that people tell us all the time that this is not a real job, like face painting is not a real job, balloon artistry, you know, the tinsels, all this stuff. So many people assume that we're just like doing this for fun, even though we're charging them a pretty good amount per hour.
Right.
And face painters genuinely make, you know, a very, very good, decent living, and have businesses. And I mean, we connected. So I like hire out artists in different parts of Texas, and Linda's one of them. Yeah. So we work together on a lot of stuff. So there's just so many different avenues that you can make a living doing something that is fun and is, you know, an art and takes talent and passion. And I just think that when people can't see it for themselves, they can't see it for you.
Right. I'm very type A.
What is type A?
So my personality is the type to follow all the rules and to always be on time and have everything organized. And type B is more like go with the flow and see how things go. So I was kind of standing in my own way of doing face painting as a real job, and like kind of it took a while for me to build up confidence in myself to realize that I could do this.
Yeah. So to me, like, I think from my experience, because I used to be type B, I guess, like would go with the flow, but I didn't realize all of the organization and all of the structure that you had to have to make a business work or to be successful in this. So to me, I feel like that characteristic would be helpful in doing it, but I could see how it would be like in a wall to get over to actually start, because no one's telling you what you need to do. You have to kind of do it yourself, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So to anybody who's thinking about starting or, you know, getting into it, we all struggled with, because you're going to have so many people who have doubts. They're going to project their own doubts and fears onto you because they're scared to do what they want to do for themselves. Itchy? Okay, so you started off with balloon animals and then got into face painting.
Yes.
And then the glitter tattoos and tinsels?
Yes. The tinsel actually came from, I was in high school in like the early 2000s, and it was a thing back then, and I never actually got it myself. And I saw some online, or maybe it got cross-posted with like a face painting group and a hair braid group, and I was like, I never got to do those when I was a kid. I'm going to do them now.
Yeah.
And so I bought the stuff and did them on myself, and a lot of people were interested. So
that's so cool.
Kind of just added it to my repertoire.
Yeah. You know what's so funny that you mentioned that? I was just saying the other day, like, we never got to go to a lot of events and festivals and things when I was growing up. So now I want to bring my daughter to like everything that I possibly can. And she's like, I don't want to go. Like, she's wore out. So seeing Stitch for the 7th time was just like, Mom, like, I'm over it. And in my head, I'm like, she wants to see him so much because I wanted to do that.
Yes.
But it's funny how we get a chance to kind of relive those childhood things that we wanted to do as adults. But then we have to like find a fine line not to project them onto our kids, right? Like, and see what they like.
When I started down this path, my kids were like, "This is so cool! I want you to make, you know, all the balloon animals and face paints."
I'm sure.
And then after a while, it was, oh, yeah, that's another dog balloon. Okay. Oh, you're gonna make the cat again.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
And now it's like, please hold still so I can practice on you.
I know. My daughter too. Even everyone's like, oh, she must love getting painted all the time. I'm like, not anymore. She got over it very, very quick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Linda said she wants to do some hair tinsel on me, so I'm not gonna say no.
All right. So currently, right now, this was for glitter tattoos and displaying them, and then I realized it was too small, so now it holds my hair tinsel options.
So cool.
And I've recently found glow in the dark pencil.
Stop.
Yeah, so we can combine the two if you want.
Wow, that's so cool.
Very cool.
So you could do silver.
Silver?
Because I already got a bunch of them in my hair, so that will just like make the other ones look like they're... Yeah, she's gonna do my hair. Okay? Yeah.
You got that?
I know we talked a little bit about like how hard it is kind of starting out and figuring out, you know, how much to charge and what you're worth, and then just like talking to other artists and kind of the feedback that comes with that.
It's really hard because on one side you have the pros that are concerned about newbies saturating the market with like super low rates, and then, you know, it's kind of like bringing the value down of what we do. But on the other hand, I don't have the experience, I don't have the speed, I don't have the repertoire of the experienced face painters, so I'm not going to start out charging $150 an hour like some of the pros justifiably could. So finding that medium sweet spot is difficult.
From someone who's like, I've been in it for a while, to me, I'm like, it is a common concept. You get what you pay for, right? So although it does feel like undercutting a lot of times, people are paying an unexperienced, you know, artist that hasn't been doing, or the quality's not as good, or like the speed, like you said. And so you're going to find your clients, and I feel like there's room for everybody in my perspective. Like I think that if it's just super low and it's taking all the business, then yeah. But for me, what I've learned is if you're a good artist and you put in the work and you get yourself out there, you're going to book whether somebody's charging way less than you or not, you know? And they're going to book what they're going to book with their clients. And you're going to there's so much room for us to find our own place, you know?
Yeah, I agree. And when I first started, I was upfront like, you know, this is about how many people I can do per hour. And I had pictures of my own designs, but this is about what you can expect for quality and things like that. And you know, some people were fine with that for a slightly lower price. I think I started out at about $80 per hour. And others that needed speed painters would know that they need to book somewhere else. Oh my gosh, your hair is so long. I usually have to trim the tinsel quite a bit, but then your hair just keeps going.
Oh, that's so cool. Thank you, baby.
I've increased since then because my speed has increased and the amount of designs that I'm comfortable doing has increased. So I do charge $105 per hour now, and I'm pretty comfortable with that for where I'm at.
Awesome. When I started, I charged $25 an hour, and I thought it was too much.
But that was...
I had no idea whatsoever.
I was really surprised at the cost of supplies for face painting. You know, it's not just you buy some paint and you buy some brushes and you go, like,
when you get into the professionalism of face painting, it is very costly to have the proper tools, like the right brushes, non-toxic paints, the proper glitters, you know, that are not going to be harmful to the kids, and just even taking the time to study and get to know what the right things to buy and stuff. Woo! It justifies what we charge per hour. If people really understood. I think in my case right now is about $1,200 worth of supplies, at the least.
Yeah, I've definitely got a lot invested into supplies.
So how do you handle when people ask, you know, hey, can you come do this event for free or volunteer? You know, given that all the stuff that we do have is very expensive.
We're kind of like paying to be at their event.
Or even just using the paints and stuff.
Yeah.
All of that adds up. And I think it's for me, I don't mind if someone asks, as long as they come with like the respect of, I know that you're not just gonna come with your time, you're gonna come with your supplies and do all the things. But it's like when people ask and they're almost like expecting or they feel like they're doing you a favor by asking. Right. It's like, no, you're wanting me to do a favor for you, so treat me as such. Like, don't try to manipulate me as if this is going to be beneficial for me. And sometimes it is, right? Like, sometimes it is a good deal to make with someone and then you get the exposure. But that should be at our discretion, not theirs, right?
And I like to pick a few causes that are kind of close to me and do those every year.
Yeah.
So I'm never going to be mad at someone for asking.
I can't say that because I don't like the way sometimes people ask with a huge expectation of me just being willing to, you know, do hours and hours on end of stuff for free. And you know what's crazy? It's like, if you're not going to acknowledge that we are actually professionals and we do this for a living and most of our time on the weekends is booked with other things, it's not okay. Like, it's just not healthy. And I know it took me years to learn how to set boundaries for myself and how to have enough self-respect to say that's not okay, you know. But if I was able to, I would. But, you know, it's hard,
especially when you're first starting out, and you know, you might not be used to like being your own boss, and, you know, advocating for yourself.
Right. I volunteered for when I tell you 2 to 3 years, I barely charged anything because I was trying to get my name out there. But if you see that someone's working consistently and that's their main job and that's what they do, it's just kind of a kick while they're down, like, kind of feeling, you know.
Right. It's like
to ask them to do something that maybe they would have done 10 years ago, but now they're professionals in the game. Like, I don't know, it hurts sometimes the way that people approach, at least for me, it still kind of does, because it makes you feel like you're not worth, but you are, you know.
We could go on for that for quite a while.
I know. It's I think what's important is just having a strong will to say, I am worthy to be appreciated, to be loved, to be respected for what I do. And if anyone makes me feel any other way, I don't have to do that. You know what I mean? I love it. It's so pretty. Well, thank you so much for doing my hair and for... Hey. Thank you so much for doing my hair and for having this conversation with me. I loved getting to know you a little bit better, and I hope you guys did too.
Well, thank you so much for coming by. It was my pleasure. I admit I was nervous. It's like meeting a famous person in the industry.
With the tinsels in her hair.
But she is actually as nice as she seems in her videos.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Bye.
Colors in the air, dancing in the light. This moment's ours, everything feels so bright.
Oh wow, what a good job you did.
When I face paint, I go doot 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 doot. That's why she does it. She makes the little sounds.